Hey you guys, welcome back and welcome if you are new. My name is Sam and welcome to my kitchen. This week we're making up another delicious Sunday dinner, a classic. We're going to be making some black-eyed peas. We're going to make those in the Instant Pot so I don't have to stand over them all day long. I did pre-soak my beans for a couple of hours in some hot water, so those are ready to go. We're also going to be making some delicious fried chicken and some cornbread, and I'm going to open a can of turnip greens and throw those in a pot because it's just a little bit less for me to do. But you guys, I love making Sunday dinners. It is just so relaxing for me because I love to cook. We're going to start out with our black-eyed peas. Now, I thought I had some salt pork, but I didn't. We're going to make these anyway, and they're going to be delicious. So in here, in my Instant Pot, I've got one onion that I just got chopped up. And like I said, I pre-soaked my black-eyed peas in some hot water for a couple of hours. We're going to put those in there with some water. I like to do about 8 to 10 cups of water just so it has enough water for the beans to cook. So we're going to put that in there. And then we're going to add some bacon grease. If you have ham or bacon, salt pork, whatever you have, you can throw that in there. Like I said, I didn't have any today, so I'm just going to throw in some bacon grease. Lose my spoon in the process, but it's fine. We saved the spoon. We're going to also add in some of this Sazon Goya. I think that's what it's called. This stuff is absolutely delicious in beans. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend you add some to the next batch of beans that you cook. So I'm just going to put in 1 pack today because I'm going to add a little bit of extra garlic and onion powder to this. But you can add any kind of seasoning that you want. I do not salt my beans before I cook them. I find that it takes forever for the beans to cook if I add salt before they're done cooking. So I personally opt to add the salt in after the beans are done, but you can add salt at this stage if you want to. So I'm just adding a little bit of garlic powder and some onion powder. I'm going to give that a stir, and I'm going to attach the lid, and I'm going to set this to seal. And I'm going to put this on for about 90 minutes, and then I'm just going to let it naturally release and then just kind of sit there until I'm done with everything else. They will be perfectly fine just hanging out in the Instant Pot. So 90 minutes on manual, and then while that's cooking, we're going to finish up everything else. I'm going to get my chicken on to soak for a little bit. I did not have enough buttermilk to make the cornbread and the marinade for the chicken, so I just added a little bit of regular milk to my bowl, about 3 tablespoons of plain white vinegar. I'm going to give that a stir, and I personally like to season the marinade that I put my chicken in. You can add any kind of seasoning to this that you want, but I will leave all of these recipes in the description box down below if you want to make them according to my recipe. But if not, you just add any kind of spices you want in there. So today I'm using this Total Seasoning because I have got to use this up and get a new bottle. So I'm just going to add some of that in there, probably about 2 tablespoons, and then I'm just going to give that a mix. I'm also going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper. Not much salt because that Total Seasoning does have salt in it, but I added a little bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper. I'm going to chunk in my bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, make a mess, but that's okay, we can clean it up. I'm going to add that in there, give that a little toss, and I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to let this marinate for just a little while. You can do this overnight if you prefer. Just put some plastic wrap on it, set it to the side, or put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate overnight. In the meantime, I'm going to make the coating for the chicken, and I'm just going to add a little bit of flour to my bowl. And here I've got some Southwestern seasoning. I love this stuff. I will try to find the recipe for this and leave it in the description box below for you guys, but it's so good. And then I'm just going to add some of the Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse seasoning to this. Measure with your heart, but I would go a little light-handed with the salt. You don't want to add too much salt, because once you get too much salt in there, it just ruins the whole thing and you can't take it out. So add a little bit. You can always sprinkle a little extra salt on the top when they're done. So I'm going to add some pepper, and I'm going to give that a mix, and then we are ready to get this chicken all nice and coated. Now with the chicken, typically what I like to do is add a little bit of buttermilk to my flour and kind of mix that in where it's a little bit crumbly. It gives it the best, like, extra crunch to the chicken. I do this every single time that I make chicken. So just add 2 to 3 tablespoons of buttermilk in there. It'll give it that nice extra crunch, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So once I get that done, we're going to heat up our skillet, because you want this nice and hot when you put your chicken in there. So I'm going to add some vegetable oil to this, but you can use any kind of oil that you want or have on hand. And then we're going to get this chicken going. So I like to double bread my chicken, so I always add more flour and seasoning than what I think I should need, because I like to double bread the chicken. So what you're going to do is take the chicken from your marinade, dip it into the flour, get it all nice and coated, dip it back into the marinade, dip it back into the flour, and get that nice and double coated. Now I'm also going to show you that you can do this without the double coating, so you can make it either which way that you want. So you're just going to take your chicken, dip it into the flour, get it all nice and coated, and put that onto a plate, because you want this to sit for about a minute or two before you put it into the pan, so the flour adheres better to the marinade on the chicken. So either which way that you want to do that is up to you. Once your pan is nice and hot, you're going to put your chicken in there. You can deep fry this if you want to. I tend to get it nice and seared and golden brown on the outside, so that way when I put it into the oven later, it keeps that nice golden crunchy texture, but it cooks all the way through, and you don't have to sit and babysit the chicken for the time that it takes to cook it, because it takes about 6 to 8 minutes or so per side of the chicken. So once the chicken has cooked about 3 to 4 minutes on the first side, you just want to leave it in there long enough for it to get nice and golden brown on the first side. You're going to flip it over, and you're going to put this whole thing in a preheated 425 degree oven. You can preheat the oven before you start breading the chicken, so that way it's nice and hot when you get the chicken in there. So once it's seared on that, pop it into the preheated oven, and then we're going to move on to making the cornbread while that is cooking. So first, what we're going to do is going to get the pan hot. You can pop this in the oven, or you can put it on the stove and just let it get hot on the stove. So you're going to grease your entire skillet, the top, or the sides and the bottom. Make sure it's nice and greased, and then you're just going to either, like I said, put this in the oven or on the stove. I opted for the stove top because it was just quicker. And then once that gets nice and hot, I typically wait until it gets nice and smoky. So it should take just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we're going to make our cornbread, because it's just going to take enough time to make the cornbread as it will for the pan to get hot. So I'm going to add about 2 cups of cornmeal to my bowl here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I added about a teaspoon of salt. Now I like my cornbread kind of tender, so I'm adding in 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. This is totally optional. You can leave the baking soda out if you don't want to add that in there. And then I'm going to add about 3 to 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And then I'm just going to give this a little mix. I started mixing it with my little measuring spoon here, but I just swapped it over for a whisk because I wanted to make sure the baking soda was nice and combined into that flour. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of oil. You can use any kind of oil that you want: Crisco, lard, olive oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil. It all works fine. So I added in about 2 tablespoons or so of that oil, and I'm just going to mix that in until it's nice and crumbly. And then I'm going to add in an egg just to help bind this all together. And then I'm going to add in some buttermilk. Now, you're going to add in enough buttermilk to make it thick but pourable. I think I added around about 1.5 cups to maybe 1 3/4 cups of buttermilk. But you can add a little bit and add more if you need more. So you're just going to add that in there and give it a whisk. If it's too thick, add some more buttermilk. But you want it thick and pourable. And then you're just going to set that to the side until your pan is nice and hot. And then you're just going to pour your cornmeal mixture into your hot pan. I let my cornmeal mixture sit for just a couple of minutes so that it kind of absorbs that liquid a little bit better. And the crumb to the cornbread is a little bit more tender. So you're going to put that in there. Be careful because it's going to be hot. And then you're just going to level this out, and you're going to put this in the oven, and you're going to bake this about 20 to 25 minutes until the top is nice and golden brown. And then you're just going to remove that from the oven, and you're going to let that sit in the pan for about 5 minutes or so, and then you're just going to flip it out onto a plate, or you can leave it in the cast iron pan or the dish that you baked it in. Mine stuck a little bit in the center. Normally it doesn't do this, but today it did, and that's okay. It's still going to taste good. And then I just go in and cut little triangles into the cornbread so that way it's nice and ready to go. I love cornbread. My dad would eat milk and cornbread when I was younger, and that's what I do sometimes. But we're going to go ahead and make our plate. I tasted the beans. They needed a little bit of salt, so I added some extra salt. So I put those on my plate, as well as some fried chicken. And then I just opened a can of the seasoned turnip greens. They're so good. If you haven't tried the seasoned turnip greens or collard greens, they're really, really good. And then I just added a little bit of that, and then my cornbread, and this was absolutely delicious. Everybody enjoyed today's Sunday dinner. It was so, so good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.